Hello, my beautiful friends. So I thought I would journal with you tonight. Journal meditation. Haven't done it for a while, so I thought I'd better come on and do it. So if you're new to the channel, what we do is, so prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening, and so I'm going to do a rune spread. I'm going to pull some cards just to get a general feel of what I should be writing about tonight, and then we're going to do all this together. So what I pull may not resonate for you. That's okay. Take what serves you, leave behind what doesn't. You can do this on your own with any divination tool that you are comfortable with. If you're new to the channel, I use the Elder Futhark runestones, and I use Oracle decks. I don't read tarot. I don't know how to. It's not my tradition. But you should use whatever tool is comfortable for you. So very first thing you do is you set your space. I've lit incense, I've lit candles, I have a cup of tea here, and I had to wait for people to get their lasagna and get their coffee, do all those things so that I could have some peace and quiet. So now I'm ready. I have some music playing, and we're going to just journey through this together. So I do regular meditation where I try to be quiet. I'm not great at it. I've gotten infinitely better over the course of time. I practice at it a lot, but I'm a jittery kind of, girl, so I constantly am moving around. There's always moving parts. So I find that meditation becomes frustrating for me, like regular meditation, like it just, because I'm so distracted. Writing meditation works for me because I can focus, so I can get a message, I can think about what the message is, and then I can write, and then I can stay in my zone. So that's why writing meditation, journal meditations work for me. So we're going to do a Celtic cross spread. If you're new with me, there are lots of different Celtic cross spreads, but this is the one that I use. Use whatever one that you're most comfortable with the tools that you're using. So the first stone that we pull is our present energy. I just ask Spirit for our present energy. So let's see, what do we have? We have Ritter-Guth, which was our present energy yesterday, which means thorn. And then we pull the stone of what brought us to this energy. So it's sticking right out. Then we have Dagus, which is infinity. Next stone that we pull is what forces can't we control? What are the things we cannot control in this situation? Tiwaz. What are the forces we can control? That's Tiwaz. And finally, what is a potential outcome? And remember that runestones don't predict the future. I don't believe that any divination tool can. We have free will. So, what we have here, we have Anzus, which I also got the other day. Slippery in my hands. Alright. So what do these stones mean? Well, I've been doing this a long time now, and so I know what they mean. But I do refer to my book, because I've written down, I've studied the stones, I've looked at a lot of different resources about the stones, and I've sort of come, a list of sort of words that go together. So when the stones are together like this, they can mean, any number of things. So let's take a look. This is the wrong book, by the way. This is the right one. This is the rune book. Alright, so Ritter-Guth, just for a reminder, even though we just had this stone yesterday, means reaction, defense, catharsis, regeneration, will of destiny, rune of the giants, disputes, arguments, disagreements, chaos, destruction, offense, breaking, resistance, mind, body, and spirit, be ready to defend, Thor's hammer, thunder and lightning, protection and of wild rage, know your limits, certain boundaries are not meant to be broken, don't make hasty decisions, Who around you brings you risk. And there's no inversion for Thursdays. I don't read inversions anyway, but there's no inversion to that. So something's sticking. So where does it come from? Well, let's see. Where is this coming from? Dagus means dawn. Awakening, certainty, illumination, completion, hope, existence, memory, consciousness, enlightenment, old world to new world, circle of life, infinity, what has always been, new beginning, new worldview, timeless existence, learning, boundless potential, beyond cultural construction, awakening, warmth of hope, sunrise, twilight, sunset, old self to new self, transition, hope is your best weapon, fresh beauty, creativity, enthusiasm, the center flowing of the cycle. And this too has no inverted position. So let's see, what are the forces I can't control? Well, we have Tiwaz here, and Tiwaz stands for Tyr, the god Tyr, masculinity, justice, logic, leadership, battle, justice and sacrifice. Justice is a balance and requires wisdom. Sacrifice or selfishness, sacrifice of self and selfishness. There are things more important than ourselves. Sacrifice ourselves for others. Honor, righteousness, fairness, loyalty, faith, higher rationality provided by deeper wisdom. No fairness without empathy, rationality, spiritual warrior. Some opposition may be coming. Honorary, bravery, courage, self-discipline, stand up for the weak, success in business, legal threat. And when it's inverted, which it turned into an inverted position here on the table, means injustice, imbalance, and defeat. Okay, so then and that's what we can't control. And then what we can control, Ingus, I think I said EYs before, but I meant Ingus, means seed. Goals, growth, change, common sense, growth, male figures, internal spiritual growth, break societal roles about gender, interact with the supernatural, don't worry about what others think, physical pleasure without hurting others, have patience, be still, store energy and power for the right moment. This is a positive rune. Wealth, good blessing, sense of wholeness, mental wellness, individual space, new opportunities, experience new things, problem solving, common sense, put house in order, take a holiday, explore your sexuality, share in harmony. There's no inverted for that. And then the final potential outcome is Anzus. Which is the Odin Stone, which is communication, mouth, understanding, regeneration, breath of life, intelligence, communication and language, use of voice, speech, poetry, ancestral line, wisdom, knowledge, words of power, use your wits and words. It's not inverted, so, but the overall message is words should be chosen with care. So I have to think about, when I'm journaling, I have to kind of think about what this message is. I mean, I'm not quite sure what it means yet. So let's pull some cards to get some more clarification. So I ask our spirit guides to please, and our archangels and the company of heaven to sort of clarify, what is this reading about? Is this about work? Is this about spirituality? I've been a little bit frustrated the past few days with sort of I don't want to say the whole spiritual community, because that's not true, but the folks that scared everybody with the coming of the eclipse. That's irresponsible. I don't like that, and it's one of the reasons I've been hesitant to be part of the larger community of spiritual people, is that there are so many charlatans out here, and I don't want to be perceived as one of them, right? And that is probably what these cards are actually talking about, because it is a bit of a thorn in my butt that happens, because there's just a lot of really bad content out here that's wrapped really pretty, and then people take it as gospel truth in whatever tradition they're in, not necessarily Christian, right? Just the expression, and so it's frustrating, because you have everything in you that you need. Nobody has to sell it to you. Nobody has to scare you. Nobody should be scaring you. If you don't do this or you don't have that, then, or if you don't pay your $30 to get, this particular, message or lesson to, you have everything in you need, right? And so, you know, this has been a long sort of battle. That's just always the way I feel about it. And, you know, I feel like there's, you know, the people are just led the wrong way. But I have the opportunity through my own gifts to sort of lead ahead using communication, and lead ahead and continue showing that, like, you know, you can have every spiritual thing, you could buy every spiritual thing from every spiritual store. That doesn't make you spiritual. You could read every card, have every card deck. You could do readings 50 times a day. That doesn't make you more spiritual, right? Intention is everything, and what you have inside, what you're doing from the inside, whatever spiritual work you're doing, having the stuff, mindlessly doing the things. That was my big criticism in the church, right? Like the Anglican church, formal Anglican church that I came from, you did all the things. But that didn't make you spiritual or religious. That just meant you did all the things, right? So I did shuffle these 3 times, but I feel called to shuffle them one more time. All right. Okay, Spirit, what goes with this reading? Please help clarify. Alright, the first card that came out was Clear Your Aura. And I think that's true. I think clearing the energy. I think the new moon, it's a new exciting time, you know, in the moon cycle to create new things. But if you're carrying over that energy from before, and perhaps I'm carrying over that frustration, I'm not going to be able to, I need to clear my aura to not be frustrated with the people who lead people down the wrong path. The second group of cards that came out together were self-acceptance and creativity. So I absolutely accept that I've certainly moved spiritually away from having all this stuff and doing all the things. Like, things don't bring meaning, and just doing them for the sake of doing them without really thinking about the intention and the purpose and, you know, what the things are for. You know, you don't have to do the things people tell you to do. Accept who you are and how you like to do things, right? And how you like to bring meaning to yourself. The final card is boundaries. Right? Knowing your boundaries and not letting other people cross them, and not being bullied into being afraid, or not being lured into buying all the things just because, you know, you feel like you have to in order to fit in with the cool kids, right? So that's interesting. All right, let's see what Celtic Spirit has to say, shall we? So I think this is this is what I'm going to write about. How to be genuine, how to stay genuine, right? And how not to get frustrated when other people aren't genuine. I've always been the person to stand up for the downtrodden. I've always been the person who has gone after the underdog. And sometimes I look through my YouTube feed and I think, you know, no wonder people are stressed out and freaking out and needing all this healing, because people keep telling them they're sick, when really everybody's full of light, and the things we do should bring out our light, right? All right, pass one. Pass two. Thinking in my mind, oh, these cards don't want to talk to me. It spit this one right out when I said that. The Weavers, Fate, Manifestation, and Decisions. And I've talked about this before, but if you're new to the channel, what I love about spider webs, I learned this from Christian from Standing Stones. I mean, I knew this in theory, but I didn't really know it. But something that he talked about in one of his seminars is that spiders do not just make a spider web like this, right? They make a section, then they go back to center. They make another section, and they go back to center. And that's because if a section gets damaged, the spider only has to fix that section. The spider doesn't have to fix the whole web. And so it's just a reminder to go back to center. Go back to what do we believe at the core? Like, what are our core beliefs? And whatever they are, they're fine, right? Don't be scared by what people tell you. Don't, it's not a popularity contest. It isn't a contest of who has all the cool things or who does all the cool stuff, right? Sometimes, I get really frustrated when I think about, this is definitely what this is about, because, I've never been to Sedona. I've been to Arizona many times, but I've never been to Sedona. I'd like to go just to see what it's like, but I think they sell a certain kind of spirituality there. That, like, if you're, just an affluent person with money, then spirituality is yours, right? When that's not the way it works, right? We all have light and love with us, no matter what our economic background is, and whether you're famous or not, or whether you're, whether you're poor or rich or male, female, or non-binary or whatever, like, light and love lives inside of us. You don't need to go to Sedona. You don't need to do these things to be spiritual. And I think it's just a cautionary tale for me, because I think I get sometimes caught up into, oh, well, I don't have that, or I didn't watch that episode, or I didn't do this thing. It's not necessary. All you need is you. All right, last but not least, we have shadows of light. So the word that keeps coming into my mind is authenticity. Who are you at your authentic self? How do you maintain authenticity? How do you, it's so easy in our culture, because we're such a transactional, commercialized culture. How do you maintain authenticity when it's so tempting to just buy the stuff and pretend that makes you authentic? Right? Alright, let's see what the cards say. Anything for our spirit to go with this message. Authenticity. That's definitely the word I'm getting. I am leery of YouTube videos that aren't authentic. Okay, these cards have nothing to say to me tonight. So, definitely authenticity is the word that's coming to mind. And so I'm going to pause. I'm going to go write in my journal about being authentic and what that means and why I think Spirit's bringing this up. I do feel that I'm authentic. I feel like I get frustrated when others aren't being authentic. But I think I need to do more than just complain about it. I need to be a voice of reason. Maybe that's what the message is. So I'm going to go write. If you are following along and journaling with me, pause here and go write. And I will take as long as you need. 3 minutes is a good, I write longer than that, but if you're not a writer and you just need like a time limit, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, 1 minute, you can do however long. I just write until I'm done. Sometimes that's 1 minute, sometimes that's 20 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, it just depends. And that is fine. Whatever you do is fine. This is work for you to do to help you on your spiritual path. So there's no right or wrong answer. Even though I'm an English professor, there's no right or wrong answer for this kind of writing. Right, I will be back in just a few minutes. So I had a good session of journaling. I ended up doing automatic writing. Sometimes things don't come to me right away, and so I do automatic writing, which is just stream of consciousness, letting it go. And so sort of what came was this idea that the thorn is really me, right? Because I'm so worried about scammers that I don't want to be one, that I limit what I do and what I say because I don't want to ever be perceived as being a scammer. But I'm not a scammer because I don't charge for this channel. I don't have additional material that costs you something. There's no gate that you have to get through. And that's not to say that people shouldn't charge and make money from YouTube or spiritual pursuits or anything like that. It's just that for me, I don't do any of that. So really the goal at the end of the day is to help everybody to see that they are full of light and love already, and that we have this amazing light within us, and we don't need all the stuff, we don't need the barriers, we don't need the gates. It's there, we just need to bring it out. But in my quest not to be a charlatan, and I'm not a charlatan, I overcompensate for it, because I don't want to be lumped in with all of the false prophets that I see when I'm looking at YouTube. So Spirit's just like, you don't have to worry about that, because you're not a false prophet. You're not telling people like outrageous things and to join this or buy that or pay this or do that, right? You're saying like, you are full of love. We are all full of love and light. And our experience to bring that light out is going to be different for each and every one of us. But there are lots of different tools to help you get there. Religion can help. Being part of a group can help. Being a solitary practitioner like I am can help. But really it's to uplift our spirits so that we can go out and help others share light and love. Because that's the only way to conquer the darkness that's in our world, right? So that was the message I got. It was an uplifting message. It started from a rough place, but then it ended really well. And I was thinking of, like, sometimes we're in a dark place. I wasn't necessarily in a dark place, but just a grumpy place. But that grumpiness, like when you dig down into it, when you do that shadow work and you kind of like say like, why, it's just because, there's some sort of truth in it. Like there's some, what am I trying to say? There's truth in whatever's making you grumpy, right? There's a truth there, and the truth there is that I don't want to ever lead somebody the wrong way, right? I lead hikes all the time. I'm leading some this weekend, and nothing is worse than getting lost when a bunch of people are following you as their leader. Same when I'm a teacher, right? Like, I don't want to teach folks how to use a semicolon the wrong way, or how to interpret Shakespeare the wrong way, whatever, right? So I feel like there's a lot of responsibility in what I do here on YouTube, because it's spiritual, right? And so I don't want to make promises where there are no promises. I don't want to have an emphatic truth where there could be interpretation. I want everybody to know that the path that they're on is fine, and those are the choices that you make, and the end goal is light and love, and those things exist within you. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to light a candle to get them. You don't have to have a special oil. You don't have to say a certain set of words. Like, those things are already within you. Whatever you do and whatever you have, do those things, have those things, because they bring you meaning and because they help you on that path. And so really just going through the things that we have and the things that we do, just for example, I have the owl that I got a few weeks ago. If you follow the channel, I got an owl at the thrift store. Like, why do I light the candle for that? Like, why do I light the tea candle and put that there? And why do I always have to have that in front of me? Well, owls remind me of wisdom. Wisdom is, a goal of mine. When I see the owl, it reminds me that my job is to provide wisdom, right? And so that's a reminder. So for me, I'm comfortable doing that practice. And do I need to have the owl there? No. Does it need to have a candle in it? No. But it does help, and it helps me to remember what my goal and what my purpose is. So I'm going to actually think about all the things I do and decide which of those bring meaning and what things I can get rid of, because they no longer bring me meaning and I'm just doing them out of habit or, physical, like, or, what is that, muscle memory. So I am wishing all of you all the very best in light and love. Be well. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.